Today on Buckeye TV, we'll dive into the world of internships.
And as always, Ohio State sports are in full swing. We'll take you inside the football facility and outside to the lacrosse field to find the pulse of Buckeye Nation.
And don't miss our important investigations on some of the quirkier sides of campus.
All that and more on Buckeye TV News.
Greetings, Buckeyes, and welcome to the Tuesday, April 15th edition of Buckeye TV News.
Today we've got stories that'll shake your shoes.
When Ohio State announced MSNBC talking head Chris Matthews as this year's commencement speaker, the reaction from the student body was overwhelmingly negative. Reporter Audrey Plant took to campus to find out who students would rather see take the mic.
With spring semester coming to a close, I spoke to students on who they would like to have speak at their graduation.
I probably picked Chelsea lately. I only watch her show a little bit, but she's really funny, and I think she'd bring a nice atmosphere to the crowd.
I guess whenever I think of graduation speakers, I always go and think about, someone political. And if we had to pick from that genre, I would pick Hillary Clinton, just because she's been a woman that's done so much in her field, and especially as sometimes a minority, I think she clearly is doing life right. I think she would have a lot of great advice for people leaving college.
I would probably pick Macklemore. I think he's a very inspirational rapper. He talks about a lot of important issues in society. I think kind of changes up kind of like the music industry about his messages and stuff like that. I think it'd be really a powerful and meaningful speech that he would give.
The 2014 spring commencement ceremony is set to take place in Ohio Stadium on Sunday, May 3rd. Guests are asked to be seated by 11:45 a.m. and the ceremony will start promptly at 12 p.m. with a processional of students into the stadium. There are no tickets required for guests, with open seating. According to the university, the ceremony will take approximately 2.5 hours long. This year's commencement speaker is Chris Matthews, host of Hardball on MSNBC. Matthews has had a long career in journalism, is a presidential speechwriter, best-selling author, and has followed American politics since the first Eisenhower campaign in the 1950s. Reporting for Buckeye TV, this is Audrey Plant.
Happening at Ohio State over the next few years, reporter Alexander Mardich went to speak to Vice President of Strategic Enrollment, Mr. Dolan Ivanovich, about first-year experience, sophomore living on campus, and his job overall.
Hello everybody, I am Alexander Mardich reporting for Buckeye TV. Today I will be making the trek from Morrill Tower to the corner of Tuttle Park Place and Lane Avenue to the Student Academic Services Building, where I will speak with the Vice President of Strategic Enrollment, Mr. Dolan Ivanovich.
Can you explain a little bit about your role here at Ohio State?
Sure. I'm the Vice President for Strategic Enrollment Planning, and I have the pleasure of working with 10 different offices on campus. So we're primarily responsible for recruiting, enrolling, registering, making sure that the students that we recruit and enroll at Ohio State are successful. We have a great first-year program.
Can you explain in detail the STEP program?
Yeah, the STEP program, the second-year transformational educational program, it's going to start in 2000. It's already a pilot. It's starting this year. So we had about 1,000 students that were living in and helping us work through some of the transitional issues. We'll be adding 3,000 more beds on the north side of the campus. We want all of our sophomores to have really a deep educational experience.
Would you discuss the importance of the first-year experience program here at OSU?
Our first-year experience program is nationally recognized, and it really focuses on helping students be successful in that first year.
How do you feel students will react to living on campus for 2 years with the implementation of the STEP program?
I think our new students coming in are going to be great. They're excited about it. All of the research shows that students that live on campus for 2 years do better, retain at a higher rate, graduate at a higher rate, get connected at a higher rate. So all of those data points are very important.
How has the entire landscape of students applying to Ohio State over the past few years changed?
5 years ago, when we built our enrollment plan, we had 20,000 applications for admission to the Columbus campus. This year we have 43,000 applications for admission. So it becomes more and more competitive. So as we move up in the popularity. I mean, it is a great time to be a Buckeye.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Ivanovich.
Alex, good to talk with you.
It's good to see you.
All right.
Thank you.
Now that the semester is coming to a close, most students are shifting their focus to those blissful months of summer. But for many, there's still work to do. Summer is prime time for internships, and with so many people looking to secure their summer assignments, our own Alyssa Euler asked for tips on succeeding in their internship shirts.
As the semester comes to a close, many students will be heading home for the summer, looking for jobs or hoping to further their experience by finding internships.
A lot of times, students just want to go ahead and jump directly to connecting with an individual employer. And sometimes what happens in that case is if they're not prepared, when they make that connection or they find that person that they really want to intern for, they find that they're not effective in the interview process, or their resume isn't up to par. And so there's a lot of preparation that needs to go in ahead of time, and that really should take place at the Career Services Office.
The Career Services Office offers students personal appointments where they will help evaluate student application materials, search strategies, find potential network contacts, and prepare students for interviews.
We work directly with the employers. We talk to employers on a daily basis, and we find out from them what they want in terms of interview skills, what they want to see in a resume, how they want students to present themselves. So all those things, again, will start at the career office level.
Students on campus seem to know about the office and find the idea of it appealing, but haven't personally used it.
Well, I knew there was some different routes through Fisher and stuff like that, but if that's not included with Fisher, then outside of that, I wouldn't really have known about that.
When I studied abroad last year, they were looking for interns to help them afterward, and they kind of contacted all the students who've studied abroad, and I just kind of took advantage of that opportunity.
The internships are important because a lot of times employers are using the internship programs as pipelines for full-time hiring. So it's kind of like a long-term job interview in the sense that you're getting to practice and apply skills, but they're also getting to learn and getting to know a little bit about you. And then there are many industries where they almost don't even consider students unless they've had a prior internship experience in that field.
I have an internship this year. I am working with the Study Abroad office, so I'm promoting study abroad and all that fun stuff on campus.
When meeting with an internship or job advisor, students should bring a resume that has been approved by the Arts and Sciences Career Services Office. To approve a resume with the Career Services Office, students can stop by during their walk-in hours Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. through 2:30 p.m., or can submit their resumes for review electronically to their Future Link Documents tab.
We're here in April right now, a couple weeks before the end of the term. The best time to start your internship search is the fall. So we are actually getting ready to start working with employers on summer 2015 internship recruiting, and that is really going to launch probably after 4th of July, where employers will start to post, they'll start to work with our office to develop plans. So that's how early the process does start.
For some students, internships are still in their future plans, but not for this summer.
I'm going to be working and taking class.
An excellent first place for students to start looking for internships is the Buckeye Careers Network website that the university has.
I'd say start early, work with your Career Services Office, and learn that there's a process that needs to be followed to be successful.
For Buckeye TV, I'm Melissa Euler.
Coming up after the break, more information on the new clothing exhibition at Ohio State.
And we'll also talk about the world's biggest news story, the search for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370.
Stay with us.
The fraternity Phi Gamma Delta held their second annual philanthropy event, Survivor. Even with poor weather, hundreds of participants competed to raise money for the Stephanie Spielman Fund. I braved the rain to bring you this story. The fraternity Phi Gamma Delta, also known as Fiji, held their second annual Fiji Survivor philanthropy event Saturday afternoon at the Lincoln Tower Fields, despite the cold temperatures and rain. Due to the weather, some events were canceled, but Fiji Philanthropy Chair C.J. Martin still felt the event was a success.
Today we're at Fiji Survivor. This is the second year for this event. There's 28 teams signed up for the event. Last year we only had 9. It was our inaugural year, so we couldn't expect too much. But great turnout today. Overall, we raised about $3,000 for our philanthropy.
The money raised through registration fees was donated to the Stephanie Spielman Fund for Breast Cancer Research. Greeks, athletes, and students teamed together in groups of 10 to compete in field games such as soccer and tug of war.
So we've got dodgeball taking place today, so they're all going to be competing against one another. We also have tug of war, and we just did multi-team soccer too, so where everyone's playing against one another.
For each team, a member of Fiji was assigned as their coach.
So my goal as a coach is to kind of just keep everyone pumped up and excited, get everyone out there going. It's a little raining out, if you can't tell, I'm a little bit soaked, but my job is just to make sure everyone just stays pumped up, excited, and ready to go. So.
During the event, brothers shared personal stories of women in their lives who have fought breast cancer.
His mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and so one thing that really didn't really hit me until I realized this year was her 10th year of celebrating being cancer-free.
Rain or shine, Ohio State students are passionate about friendly competition and philanthropy.
The weather was a curveball. We really didn't expect it to be this cold or rain, especially at the end of March, but it's been really fun to all just go through it together, and it's been a really fun experience.
In the end, from the all-sorority bracket, Kappa Kappa Gamma 1 and Kappa Alpha Theta paired with Alpha Tau Omega took the crown for the co-ed team. From Buckeye TV, I'm Brooke Sayre.
History can be looked at through so many lenses, but one that might not seem obvious is clothing. Last week, an exhibition was opened here on campus that sought to tell the story of the past through clothes from different time periods. Reporter Eric Ringman was there to check it out.
To the 1960s, these technology gems is this British wedding dress, made during wartime for a Nazi parachute. The exhibition is funded as a grant project and is the second iteration in an evolving educational series.
What we do is hold workshops with public school teachers from here in the state of Ohio, grades 7 through 12, and we investigate how they can use historic clothing artifacts to help engage students in historical lessons in the classroom. So the idea being that this is a way to sort of get them interested and get them into the period in something a way that's more accessible perhaps than the written word.
The show, including a curated walk through the displays, is free and open to the public. The items in the collection will be on display through June 28th. For more information, search History's Closet on the OSU website. For Buckeye TV, this is Eric Raymond.
For the past month, the world has been griped by the search for the Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. With each new update on the plane's location being heavily scrutinized, the uncertainty over those details has brought confusion to most people. Bridget McEwen went to speak to some experts on the subject to try and make the situation a bit clearer.
On campus and around the world, people have been transfixed by the mystery surrounding Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. 6.6 million. According to the International Air Transport Association, that's the average amount of commercial airline passengers who fly every single day. Why has such a large-scale mystery taken place in such a common form of travel? Aeronautical experts are even left wondering what went wrong.
You know, what I find most unusual about this particular incident isn't that the plane disappeared or that it crashed over the ocean, because that happens from time to time. What I find the most unusual part is that planes have systems built in on board to track the onboard activity, to track where they are in the world, and this one was turned off, so we have no idea where the plane went, why it was turned off, or why it wasn't turned back on if there was a time of trouble.
The deactivation of this system, called the transponder, is paired with the fact that the pilot veered off course less than an hour into the flight. Whether the plane's fate was pre-planned or an accidental crash, the incident is likely to have a long-lasting effect on the 6.6 million daily airline travelers. Alyssa Fletcher of the History Department said, "We don't know definitively what happened, so there is a psychological toll on passengers. The mystery itself leaves people uneasy and could prompt them to seek other modes of transportation. It's an uneasiness that will linger for some time." That uneasiness has affected OSU students as well, especially those that have studied abroad.
So I've gotten to travel to a lot of different countries and continents. So I've been on a lot of international flights, and something happening like this is nothing that I would ever think of. Like I pretty much just believe in the system and like believe that I'm gonna get where I'm supposed to go. So this story has just blown my mind, and I can't believe that it actually happened. And I want to know like what the story is behind it.
Ohio State, along with the rest of the world, is still waiting on the answer. For Buckeye TV, this is Bridget McEwen.
Coming up next, it's everyone's favorite subject, sports.
There's news on the competition put on by the Buckeye football team, an update on the men's lacrosse squad, and playoff hockey in Columbus.
Stay with us.
Ohio State football may be in its off-season, but the team still had time to put a student appreciation practice last week, with an added twist. Head coach Urban Meyer gave the opportunity for regular students to compete in a foot race against some Buckeye players, and Michaela Street was there to see it happen.
There was a lot going on today at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, where students were able to get up close to the action and have their support not go unnoticed. Thousands of students filled the Woody Hayes Athletic Center Saturday morning to cheer on the football team and even participate in some drills.
I thought it was awesome. I really did. You know, I heard we had about 2,500 here, which is the most we've ever had. And, you know, the purpose of the event is to give the students ownership of the program. And I think without question that we were able to do that today. And I know it makes everyone happy, and, you know, players, coaches, all the staff, to see the students out here and for us just to say thanks, because without them we can't do what we do.
Students had the chance to get an inside look in the locker room and were also able to encourage some fellow Buckeyes during an intramural flag football championship. Students were excited to have a more personally tailored Buckeye experience.
I was really excited about today. Like, I love painting up for Blacko. Football is my favorite sport to watch and cheer for, and I love our Buckeyes, and they're great. So coming out and being able to cheer for them even out of practice, that just makes it 10 times better for me.
We were really getting pumped up, and then seeing them get pumped up and seeing them really get into practice and doing it all for us, so it was really fun.
This year's practice featured the highly anticipated fastest student semifinal races, which determined who gets to test their speed in a final race against Dontre Wilson at the spring game.
We have those 5 people that made the finals they are unbelievably fast. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, of that group, no one ran any slower than a 4.58, which is unbelievable. You know, just for the average student, you know, I mean, I can't believe that. I mean, to me, it's unbelievable. So it'll be tough.
Yeah, I was really impressed. My friend right here, man, I've been knowing him before all the student races things. And I knew what type of athlete he was, so I knew I was going to have some kind of competition.
I was just trying to get the best time as possible in the 40s. So.
Do you practice and train at all?
I'm on the club team, so that's about the only training I do is for club football for listeners. Oh yeah, I came in with the attitude because I know some of the football players, so I've been talking trash all week. So definitely. I'm trying to represent for the students, so if anything, it's going to help me get better.
Although this day was intended for the students, perhaps it was the players who got the most out of the experience.
It means a lot. I think they appreciate it, but I think we appreciate it a lot more that they're out there every game, really live and everything. So it's good to get back to them. You know?
I mean, it's great to come out and get back to the fans. You know, they'll come out in that cold weather. They'll be there every game out there screaming, all 4 quarters. You know, I mean, it's important to come back and get back to them.
It just shows that we care, that we appreciate the students and what they do for us, but we're also, as Ohio State, just one big family.
After the practice, fans were able to meet and mingle with the coaches and players.
I mean, we always give back, and that's one thing that we emphasize, giving back. You know, the student fan base is 30,000 students every game. So I mean, that's important to give back to them.
Today is a big day for Ohio State. Just really when we get to show the students that we really appreciate them for all they do during the season. So today was definitely a big day.
That's very important because they do a lot for us and keep us going during the games and snow session and everything. It's just a big deal.
What it says and what we hope it conveys is that we really care, because we really do. I mean, absolute sincerity that we care about the students. You know, we want them to be on our side. We want to be one with them, and we want to do everything in our power to do stuff with the student body and let them know that without them we can't have success. So I hopefully from outside looking in, I would just hope that everyone would look at this and say, wow, the Buckeyes care, because we do care. I mean, we can't do what we do without them.
The finals for the student speed race will take place at the Shoe for the spring game on Saturday, April 12th. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Michaela Street. The Ohio State football spring game was held on Saturday at the Ohio Stadium, but football wasn't the only sport played at the Shoe that day. Our sports reporter, Matt McGreevy, was on hand to see the Buckeye men's lacrosse team take on Michigan.
Well, before football got started for the spring game, Ohio State men's lacrosse took on Michigan. Just the third meeting between these two teams, and Ohio State improved to 3-0 against the Wolverines. 15-6 was the final score. Ohio State now 2-0 in the ECAC.
It was a story of two halves on Saturday afternoon as the Buckeyes shut out the Wolverines, scoring 9 unanswered over the final 30 minutes of play. It was a welcome sight for an Ohio State team that saw itself fall behind 5-2 just 2 minutes into the second quarter. Buckeyes leading scorer Jesse King led the comeback, scoring 3 goals over an 8-minute span. King finished the day with 5 goals and 1 assist. He now has 21 points over his last 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important right now because these are a lot of these games are conference games, and we need to win these conference games and hopefully get a good bid into our tournament to make the NCAA tournament. And I think we're really hot right now, and it's a great time to be hot right come to the end of the season.
Probably some of our best lacrosse we've played. I mean, shutting out a very good team like Michigan in the second half, that's really a tribute to, our hard work over the past couple of weeks. But, there's still room for improvement. You can never get complacent and play your best. So we're going to continue to work hard.
More than 17,000 fans filled the Shoe to cheer on the Buckeyes. Most stayed for the spring game. The electricity was there for Ohio State, and they're looking to keep the switch flipped as they eye their last 2 games of the regular season.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable to feel. I can't really put into words. Just the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry means everything. It's the biggest rivalry in the country. For us to be a part of something like this is just unbelievable. It's really special, and we're really fortunate.
This is amazing. I'm so happy that all these people came out, and it's really good for the sport of lacrosse to grow in the Midwest. So it was a really special experience.
Ohio State has now won 4 of their last 5, and they will take on Air Force next, looking to improve their record to 3-0 in conference play. For Buckeye TV, I'm Matthew McGreevy.
Spring is here, and that means it's time for the playoffs in the National Hockey League. For only the second time in team history, the Columbus Blue Jackets will be one of the 16 teams participating. They will begin their series against the Pittsburgh Penguins on Wednesday night, and reporter Tim Moody went to see how excited OSU students are about the prospect of postseason hockey.
After narrowly missing out one season ago, the Columbus Blue Jackets clinched their second ever Stanley Cup playoff appearance last week, and their first since the 2008-2009 season when they lost to the Detroit Red Wings 4-0. While the team has never won nor held the lead in a playoff game, some Ohio State students think this season's success will lead to greater support for the Blue Jackets going forward.
Yeah, I'm sure that gets a lot of support for all the Columbus fans, and especially the university having a good hockey team here, while now becoming a better one that it's finally made the playoffs.
Even though they're not her favorite team, Alessi said the Blue Jackets' playoff success could lead her to watch more often.
I'm also a Blackhawks fan. I'm from Chicago, so I usually watch the Blackhawks, but I think if the Blue Jackets are doing a lot better, I'd start watching them as well.
Playoff appearances have been a rarity for the Blue Jackets, but some students are still only looking to head down to Nationwide Arena if the price is right.
I'd like to if I can get in. I don't know how hard the requirements are to get tickets or how expensive they are, but as long as it doesn't break the budget, I'll definitely be in there. $50, and that's my magic number.
For any fan willing to travel to Pittsburgh for the April 16th showdown with the Penguins, tickets are still available from just about $82. Fewer tickets for the games in Columbus are left, and fans will have to shell out a bit more cash, with the lowest price currently at more than $133 for April 21st. For Buckeye TV, I'm Timothy Moody.
Coming up next, our final 2 stories of the day.
And if you're a fan of Ohio State's campus, you won't want to miss them. Ohio State is a school with many international students, but before they can leave for summer, all of them must fill out the I-20 forms so they can update their visas. Reporter Palin Z has the story.
first step they should do is come to the auxiliary hall to get their new I-20 form, which is better and necessary to get an update with them before they come back to school. Getting your I-20 returned is pretty easy. You just need to check the last page of your I-20 and see if you have a signature on the bottom 4 lines. If you do, look at the date, and your travel signature is valid for 1 year unless you are on OPT or CPT. If you don't have a signature or it's expired, you can bring it to the Office of International Affairs, and you can drop it off and pick it up tomorrow, the next day after 1, or you can sign in to wait for advising Monday through Thursday from 1 to 4 and have it signed. Have you ever heard resign your I-20 before you come back to your country?
Yes, I heard of that, and the process is kind of complicated. You have to bring all your personal information, and then you need to make an appointment before you came to the OIA.
I think we should bring a copy of our I-20 here and drop it here and maybe pick up maybe next day. That's the most simple way, I think.
When they have an accident, they have to get a trip signature to Office of International Affairs.
Yeah, I heard from my friend, like, she just remind me every time before I go back to China, I have to get my I-20 signed.
The first year I came here, I have heard about the signature for the I-20 if you want to go back to China from my roommate. So basically, you have to go to the OIA office and ask them and give them your I-20 and ask the advisor to sign for you.
For more information, you can find all online. And for Buckeye TV News, I'm Taylor Z.
The Oval, Mirror Lake, endless construction. There are some features that define Ohio State's campus, but one that might not get the credit it deserves: squirrels. You've all seen or heard them, but you probably wonder how they survive. Our reporter, Isaac Perez, found the answer when he went to talk to the Secret Squirrel Society on the Oval.
Cute creatures rolling through Ohio State's campus throughout the year. Don't go unnoticed. These students requested that we not publish their full names in an effort to conserve their anonymity. Over the last couple of years, we've really developed an intimate relationship with them. We don't get a lot of beautiful days here at Ohio State, but when there are, we go out. And we really spent some quality time with them. We've gotten to name them. We have a system down. We've got one for every letter of the alphabet. I have to say my favorite one is Flappy. Go Flappy. And what's some of the things that Flappy does? Well, he's the friendliest. He's always giving me a little wink when I feed him. I don't know. It's all about him.
When asked about the attitude of the squirrels, the student known simply as Murph had some intriguing insight.
I find them to be really aggressive, actually. Really? Yeah, definitely a huge lesson. The way these squirrels are so adjusted to humans. They have absolutely no fear.
Yeah, so as we all know, squirrels like to bury their acorns into the ground. With the really cold winter this year, the ice just covered the ground. They couldn't get the acorns out. They were all starving. So me and Garrett, we go out between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have like a squirrel call, and we'll go down the street, and they'll all just come to us, and we'll bring them nuts, and we'll feed them every night. We go out and recruit members that we think are gonna really help us feed the squirrels. We don't want just these random people coming and we don't know who they are. We don't know their backgrounds. We really like to keep our squirrel club safe and close and connected.
And let's be honest, this isn't for us. This is for the squirrels.
While feeding squirrels is a controversial topic amongst conservationist circles, it is clear that these students have a unique bond with the squirrels, and that is here to stay. From Buckeye TV, I'm Isaac Perez.
That's it for our show this week. We hope you enjoyed our comprehensive coverage of everything happening here at Ohio State.
Make sure you tune in to Buckeye TV for all your campus news.